Greetings, this is your girl Isis Wisdom, and today is my first live commentary video presentation that I've ever done, where I'm actually live and I'm taking the time out to explain to you about what you're seeing on the video. Now, I'm a little nervous about this because I've never did this before, and so someone suggested that I do it, so I said, okay, I'm going to do it. It's late at night. So this is my way of being able to get some practice in. So if people log on, people log on. If they don't, they don't. Okay. Hey, y'all. Oh, damn. Y'all jumping on here quick. Okay. I thought I was sneaking. I thought I was sneaking. But I'm doing my first live commentary video. So I want you guys to tell me if you guys can see the actual video, because I put this video together tonight and I'm going to take the time out to explain to you guys what's happening in the video. Okay, so I'm going to give you my personal unique commentary. Okay, I didn't think that many people were going to be on here tonight, because I was trying to sneak it and y'all was just going to catch it the next day or something like that, but it's all good. Can you guys see? Yeah, okay, all right, you guys can hear me okay. All right then, so I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna start the video and I'm gonna let it play for a little bit and then I'm gonna give my little commentary. Peace. You guys suggested I go ahead and do a podcast. I guess that's what this is, on YouTube, where I'm talking about or giving commentary on the things that I'm witnessing from around the world. So this is actually going to be my first commentary video. Whew, I hope this is done right. Bear with me, guys, because I'm still learning this process. But I do plan on doing a podcast here tonight on YouTube, and we're going to see how this works. Yeah. So support me. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to get the likes up. I greatly appreciate you. And let's see how this goes.
Look, niggas, the white folks is just a fucking imagination. Them niggas you call the Moors, who wear them red fez hats, that's who the fuck did this shit going on in America. That's who put the white folks in charge, because that's who made the white folks in their incubator machines. The black niggas with the feds who know astrology, astronomy, how to make weapons and devices, they the ones that quit blaming these white folk. Sure, they're part of the problem because they are only 200 years old. They don't know what the fuck going on Earth. Why you think they run around digging up everything trying to prove that they've been here longer? Is you niggas retarded? It's niggas doing this to you. The white folks, that's just an imagination. Them the folks they built to be the fucking scapegoat. They used to sell these white folks like packs of swishers. They made them in their incubators. They mass produced them in test tubes. Not us. That ain't where our humanity started from. So quit saying 1800, 19, ain't none of that shit real. Every book they wrote since 1928 or 928 been a lie. And we got to rebuild this shit back using the way God's showing us, because they'll never show us the truth. I hope you understand that.
Now, what this brother is saying right here, he's telling some real facts, and this actually coincides with part of the story I'm talking about in the series called Black Devil, where basically I exposed the fact, and many of us don't know this, and some of us do know it, okay? But basically, I exposed the fact that the Elohim, okay, and you need to know the difference between the Elohim and the Elohai. But the Elohim, who are also Moors, who are also the fallen ones, okay, they are the ones that, in fact, did create Caucasians. This is very real, okay? And this is the video, the next video I'm going to show is going to expound on this even more, okay? Where you're going to see the commentary and you're going to see that as well. But that's what that's really about. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to play the next video. And I'm so nervous, guys. Oh my goodness. I'm so nervous.
If you're waiting on them to tell you, you're dumb.
People ask me why their grandparents or great-grandparents never talked about the reset. Why don't they remember anything about it? Well, let me try to explain it. First, there were the Cabbage Patch babies. Now, these weren't just toys, you see, they became a symbol of something much bigger, a massive repopulation effort after the reset. These babies, they weren't born the usual way. They were produced almost mechanically in large numbers and distributed through a cold, efficient system. Strange, isn't it? Brings to mind ideas like cloning, doesn't it? And maybe that's why today you see so many folks who just seem to go with the flow. No questions, no thinking. Did you know they say nearly half the population doesn't even have an internal monologue? Imagine that, living life with a quiet mind, just following along. Those babies, those orphan trains, they were shipped off along with abandoned children who had survived the reset, taken from their families, sent to faraway lands. Many ended up in America. And when they got there, they were given a new story, the official version of history. No elders left to tell them the truth. Nobody to remember how things used to be. It made them easier to control, you see, easier to accept the new narrative.
Do you remember back in September?
Okay, so that is very interesting that nobody seems to know anything about the so-called Great Reset. And I have been questioning and doing my own research about this as well. Now, there's a story that's out that says that, quote unquote, Yaqub, and I don't know how true this is, but they're saying that Yaqub was the one who actually created the Caucasian race. I do know that the Moors definitely played a role in that. And you guys got to understand that the Moors back in those days were quote unquote, the so-called gods. Okay. And you also had angels out there that had God powers. Angels are very, very, very powerful. Don't ever get it twisted. I think a lot of people try to humanize angels and things like that. But I'm telling y'all right now, they are extremely powerful. They have godlike powers and godlike capabilities. And some have even has even had the ability to ascend to the status of God, hence the Anunnaki gods, the ones that you guys know about, such as Anu, okay, Enki, Enlil, Ninhursag, Hersag, all of them, that whole family, they all elevated to the status of God. They weren't just gods from the very beginning. And that's the thing that a lot of us are missing in terms of information, okay? That's what we're missing. So I'm here just to kind of put the pieces of the puzzle together and plug in parts that you guys may not know about, just so you guys can kind of catch up to speed. But yes, these people were definitely created, and that's not talked about. And they do spend a lot of time trying to prove that they've been here for longer than what they know. But the truth of the matter is, a lot of them have been created. When the first slaves that the Moors ever enslaved were them. And the whole slave trade, about the whole thing about us coming from Africa to the Americas, that's all false. They were bringing them over into the Americas and bringing them over into different parts of this whole North America, South America, Central America. How do you think they got here? How do you think they got here? Now, one of the things I'm going to point out is, quote unquote, the Great Reset. You guys also have to understand that during that time period, things were so out of control in terms of things that we were doing. Things had got out of hand, that there was a solar flash that took place back then and wiped out all of our memory. So when our memories got wiped out, that's how they were actually able to take over. completely, when our memories got wiped out. Now, yes, the Vatican did make a call. We're talking about old world. The Vatican did make a call to have certain beings brought over here to the Americas to move against us and make us prisoners of war. That did happen, but that was after the great solar flash that took place when we lost our memories about who we are. Okay? So that's the part of the thing that we may or may not know about. Give me 1 second. I'm going to push this video back just a little bit, and I'm going to let it play. Now we're going into another video, and this is very interesting because Elon Musk has predicted the drone situation as far back as September. So check it out.
Version of history. No elders left to tell them the truth. Nobody to remember how things used to be. It made them easier to control, you see. Easier to accept the new narrative.
Do you remember back in September when Elon posted about the drones that were going to be swarming in battle? Well, I didn't either, but here it is. Boop. Also want to show you something. And this isn't really what I want to show you that's mind-boggling, but pay attention to it, okay? And in the background, Elon is saying, oh, that's where you were? And he's like, yeah, Memphis, the capital of ancient Egypt. Memphis, Tennessee, lights are blinking everywhere, no internet in some parts. Wild, huh? Which brings me back to what he said. Drone swarm battles are coming that will boggle the mind. He said this at 9:06 p.m., 9/29/24. That is so interesting. Why would he say that? And then what is it like? 3 months later, here we are. Is it starting to feel a little pre-planned now? It is to me. And here's what I have to say. Maybe we need to go back through all of Elon's posts and see what he has to say about the drone swarms that are occurring right now.
Okay. Now, let me break some things down to y'all about that. First and foremost, you need to understand the differences between the drone and the orb. Let's just start there. Further, Elon has access to certain technology that allows him to actually go into other dimensions. Okay? There are people that actually work for him who came out and spoke about some of the experiences that they had when they were working with him, or that those who were very close to him. I think one of them was like his housekeeper, I think it was, and she was talking about how this dude opened up a portal and they went into the portal and they actually ended on planet Egypt. And yes, there is a planet called planet Egypt. It does exist in the cosmos, okay? And she was talking about how they were spinning in the air, and Elon was laughing and joking and, you know, hooping and hollering and having a good old time. And she's like panicking because she doesn't know where she's at, what's going on with her. And she talked about how she saw the ancient Egyptian gods there. Okay, now I need you guys to understand something. They've been hiding technology from us for a very long time. So I need you guys to expand your consciousness. If they was making test tube babies or cloning people back then what makes you think they didn't have access to certain technology? Of course they did. They showed you that when they showed Egypt. They've always had access to the technology, guys. I think now is that the great revealing is coming out. We're now really starting to come into a true understanding about what's going on and the amount of lies that they've been telling the people for a long period of time to make us think one way, when in fact it's something totally different. Okay, but they are not. This is them having access to stargates and traveling and going through different portals is nothing new. They learned this from us, the ancient ones. There were actual pyramids and mountains where they found extremely advanced technology, and they didn't know how to even utilize the technology. They had to be shown how to utilize that technology. And guess who showed them how to do it? The fallen angels did. They showed them how to do it. Okay? So I want you guys to understand that this isn't nothing new. This is nothing new under the sun. This has been going on. Now we're going to get into the next video.
In South Carolina?
No.
Does anybody know if Brandon or Corey are out there?
Did you see that?
Yeah.
Bro. Come on, Max. You see that? They found it. Look at that. Look at that.
Any amount of things, a lot of people are suspecting BBL.
because that normally is the thing that poisons and gets in your blood. So I've been seeing theories online, which I think is crazy, because I rock with DC Young Fly, but they're saying that he basically sacrificed
Now, before I get into this, I put this clip in here because I already told you guys that what's in the dark eventually comes to the light. So now some information is coming to the light. This guy that's about to drop some science is some highly connected guy that goes by the name of Jeffrey. And this guy seems to be connected to certain powers within the industry. And listen to what this guy has to say. It's going to blow your wig back about DC Young Fly. Now, just so you know, this is not my opinion. I didn't say that. This video is for entertainment purposes only. I'm just letting them talk.
What's her name? Jackie O? Yeah, Jackie O, making sure. Sacrifice Jackie O. So, can you shed some light on that? Like, what's going on with this situation?
We spoke to DC Young Fly, and a lot of times people see sacrifices as such a bad thing. He didn't sacrifice her. He gave us an offering. We like to say certain things. Sacrifice is so evil. He gave us an offering, and his wife. If you pay attention to the patterns of everyone who passes away when associated with our puppets, they always die with the doctor. Michael Jackson, he passed away with a doctor. Prince, he passed away with a doctor. Kim Porter, she passed away with a doctor. So, yes, he gave us an offering to continue his career. His career was on a stagnant pace, and we granted him a lot of things. We gave him Wildin' Out. We put him in a lot of movies, in the House Party movie.
And then there's a podcast too. What is it, the 85 South Show? Or?
He's garnered a lot of things from us. So he gave us an offering to go to the next level, to be the big superstar in our movies, to be the big superstar with his music. DC Young Fly is the replacement of Jamie Foxx. DC Young Fly sings, he raps, he acts, he's a comedian. Jamie Foxx sings, he acts, he's a comedian. He's very multi-talented. As Jamie Foxx's reign comes to an end with his talents, we're ushering in DC Young Fly to be the next in line for that. And he gave us an offering to pay for all the prior success he's had. Every level that we have, you have to give an offering before you make it to the next level. So it's not a sacrifice. He made an offering, and it was for a...
That was a sacrifice. I don't give a damn what that dude says. That was a sacrifice. Okay. So I want you guys to, I wanted you guys to see that video, because there's a lot of people around here that think that these things don't happen within the industry, and it really does. And I'm going to break some science. I'm going to drop some science on y'all real quick. This was broken down to me by an actual Alpha Draconian. Told me this one time. And just so you know, all Alpha Draconians are not bad or evil. Okay, you do have some Alpha Draconians that are either benevolent or at least neutral. Okay, just like you have human beings. If you classify a whole race of human beings as malevolent, do you have some neutral human beings? Do you have some benevolent human beings? And do you have some downright evil human beings? Okay, so I just want to point that out. But nonetheless, I had a conversation with the Alpha Draconian. And this Alpha Draconian proceeded to explain to me that any place where you see there's a lot of harvesting taking place, usually the Alpha Draconians are at the top of the food chain when it comes to that. In other words, those are the people that are actually in place. So what do they do with artists? You just heard this man sit up here and explain to you that he gave an offering. Now, in that regard, he's telling the truth. The Alpha Draconians like to harvest the energy of any original. They do not like originals. They do not care for originals. Okay? So he's saying, I didn't say it, he's saying that DC Young Fly offered his wife up, or his girlfriend, his child's mother, as an offering to these quote unquote alpha draconians in order for them to get to the next level, because the draconians are the ones at the top of the food chain in the entertainment business. But they have to harvest the energy in order for you to get to the next level. So now I'm pointing out and showing you guys what you're really looking at, what you're really looking at. And I'm exposing it to you so you guys understand what's going on here, because our whole lives, we never knew any of this stuff. Of course, they keep everything hidden from us, or doing rituals to keep everything hidden from us. But now we're in the age of Aquarius where everything is coming to light. Okay? And you guys know I've been called crazy and all types of shit. You guys may even think I'm crazy right now. I don't care. But I've been in this game long enough to recognize certain energies. And some draconians can be very, very cunning. And you would never detect that's what they are. I just went through a situation with that recently, where we had somebody in our circle that was an actual alpha draconian, a general, a war general. And boy, when I tell you, this dude was super cunning. And it wasn't until I looked into him and went to the Akashic Records and pulled his whole thing down and went straight to a source spark to see exactly who and what he was. And I saw exactly what he is. He's Alpha Draconian and moves just like one. It's like I've been reflecting back on. There were certain things that got past my radar at first, but now I'm reflecting back on it, and I said, oh, you're one of those. Got you. So you guys got to watch who's in your circle, who's trying to harvest your energy. Okay? You got to pay attention to things like that. Who's trying to take and take and take and take and take? Didn't I tell you that all your narcissists are Alpha Draconians? I told y'all that. You're a narcissist. What do? They suck you dry. They harvest your energy to the point to where you don't have any left over. Those are Alpha Draconians. Okay? Now, I appreciate you guys for listening tonight. I appreciate you if you go ahead and get the likes up for me, please. And also for those who are new that is watching my channel, go ahead and subscribe. Thank you. Now we're going to go into the next video here, this next part, because I put this part in right afterwards. Was done in the dark.
The CIA does not care about human life. It doesn't care about peace at all. It cares about winning and perpetuating and expanding itself. And that's not an exaggeration. They have an entire procedure they've developed over the last 40 years since Gary Webb. They destroyed his career, lost his marriage, his finances, and then wound up in a hotel room with 2 bullets in his head because he reported on CIA drug running. And he wrote the book Dark Alliance. Their most favorite form of assassination is pushing someone to suicide. And then that gives them the doctrine of plausible deniability. And that comes from National Security Council Directive 10-2 in 1948, where the CIA can do anything it wants: sabotage, subversion, economic warfare, assassination. It can do anything it wants as long as there's plausible denial for the U.S. government. They can deny any involvement. The CIA can do anything it wants. Now imagine that. With their $39 billion plus budget and the power of secrecy they have, the things that they have done and are doing are unconscionable.
I'm in Nashville, Tennessee. That's the skyline over there. I'm going to see if I can film this.
Now, before I go further with this video, the CIA was created by George Bush. Now, for those of you that do not know, George Bush, the first Bush, senior, not the junior, but the first Bush. I'm going to do this. This video is for entertainment purposes only, allegedly. George Bush was also one of the sons of the Queen of England. There was a video that they had put out, I'm going to say back in the early 2000s, where it showed him giving a speech. And when you looked at his eyes, you could see the slit in his eyes. Okay. And there was always rumors about the Queen being one of those lizards. She, in fact, was a draconian. Okay. She, in fact, was that. All of them are Dracos, okay? All of them. And when they actually showed her coffin, if you guys go back and look at her, all the other ones, all the other queens before her that passed away, how big those coffins were, they were huge, okay? But Bush Sr. was a Draconian / reptilian hybrid. And so, yes, the CIA was created. Did you guys ever critically ask yourself the question of what exactly is the CIA and why does it exist? What does it consist of? Why do they have assassins? Why are they so malevolent? Because that is a malevolent agency. There's nothing benevolent about this agency. As the gentleman said, they don't give a damn about nobody. They're trying to expand out. So who is behind the CIA? Why do they exist? And how is it that people have been living in this country and going about their daily lives, knowing that an agency like this exists, as malevolent as it is, and no one has stepped up to say, hold up, what's going on here? Why does this thing even exist? What is this agency? Who's funding this agency? Who started this agency? They've been wreaking havoc all over the planet by assassinating different world leaders and installing world leaders on the behalf of the United States. So you got to start asking yourself questions. And even the CIA is still independent of the corporation called the United States. They are independent of them. So they're their own rogue agency that plays out in front of your face on a daily. And then somebody, we don't know who this somebody or somebodies are, but they utilize this agency to go out and assassinate certain types of world leaders that, let's say, certain powers that be doesn't have the ability to control. I'm going to go into the next video.
It keeps showing up outside. Look at that. Look at that. I'm going to try to zoom in on this. Oh my gosh, do you see that? What the bro? I've seen it all over TikTok. Now I'm literally seeing them in person. This is right next to Nashville, Tennessee. Right in Nashville, Tennessee.
Now, I have another video later on where you're going to see the one out in California. And let me explain to you what these are. These, ladies and gentlemen, are the Seraphi angels. These are the burning ones that you hear talked about in the Bible. You may have heard the term seraphim, but that's not the correct terminology. They are the Seraphi, okay? These Seraphi angels mostly consist of the gold order angels. These are the angels that San Miguel or Saint Miguel, y'all know him as Saint Michael or Archangel Michael, okay? His real name is actually San Miguel, okay? And he is of Dominican descent. Trust me, I've known this about Michael for probably about 4 or 5 years when he first came to me and showed me my actual sword. And that's a whole different conversation for a different day. And that's when I found out, that's when I began to start finding out more about who I was when he pulled up on me and it was showing me the sword. But nonetheless, when I would see him with my first eye, I'd be looking at him like, what? Why's your hair like that? You know what I'm saying? Why's your hair curly like that? What the hell? You know what I'm saying? So when they show up, we know the angels actually look like eyeballs with a bunch of wings. Okay, we understand that. But you guys also have to understand the angels have the ability to shape shift and they can look any way that they want to look. So he does have origins from the Dominican Republic. He does have that. Okay, Michael's also considered to be an original. Okay, and was created, of course, by the Most High. All right. Now, we never looked at it this way, but I'm explaining some things to you. So those Seraphi angels, they move just like that. Normally, when you see them pull up like that, they're usually over military installations to make sure that if it's a nuclear threat or they're trying to launch certain weapons and things like that out that's very dangerous to the planet, this is when you see the angels pull up, and there's a bunch of them that pull up. Okay, you got Anunnaki that just pulled up. That's on this planet. They're here cleaning and sweeping. Okay, and their actual plasma Merkabahs. But what most people don't know is that those Merkabahs, those plasma Merkabahs, when they see them, they don't even realize that they're looking at themselves. They don't even realize that they're looking at their own aspect. Okay? Last week, I called down my Anunnaki aspect. He appeared to me as an orb, literally as an orb. And I said, you have got to be kidding me right now. Are you serious? And he was in a plasma orb. Okay, that's what it is. So if you guys ever see, if you come out your house and they do pull up like that, they do pull up like how this guy said, they will pull up on you real out of nowhere and pull up on you just like that. It'll startle you. It will startle you. Okay. But you're going to start, a lot of you guys are going to start seeing more and more of this. When you get your spiritual hearing, for some of y'all, you will hear them talking back to you. Okay. That is a very real thing. This is really real. These are the things that they don't want you to know about. Okay. There's more commentary about this in terms of what the Anunnaki is doing in terms of the vessels of the Anunnaki. And I want to talk about that on this live as well. Okay? So let's get back to it. Let's get ahead.
Huge jellyfish in the sky of Poland.
I don't think you're ready for this jelly. I don't think you're ready for this jelly. Remember I told y'all guys that? Look what was just found in Poland. Look what was just recorded in Poland. What does that look like to y'all? What does that look like to y'all? Now, if I'm not mistaken, don't that look like jellyfish? Don't they look like jellyfish? I told y'all, I don't think they're ready for this jelly, baby. Because what is jelly, right? Again, jelly is us. It's us. This is the personification. Again, I told y'all, the sun is bringing life back into earth. Okay? That's what jelly is. We start off in our father's sack as jelly. That's what I'm saying? All right? That's why nobody can jelly and jam like us. No one can jelly and shake like our women, and nobody could jam and ball like our men. Nobody could jam us up in anything. So we're literally the jelly in the jam. That's why they say, what's the saying? If it's jelly
outside a while ago, when I got my dog.
Okay, before I get into this next video, that's hilarious. Okay, guys, those are actual sprites. Okay. And those sprites are bringing down a lot of plasma energy onto the planet. Okay. I'm going to share some information with you guys, and you're actually going to see this play out in the video as well. Number one, the planet has jumped at least, let's see, possibly between 45 to 66 timelines last night. I'm going to show proof of this whenever I show you the thing on the human resonance. Now, the way Source explained it to me was that a lot of you are going to start feeling like you're out of place. A lot of you guys are going to be experiencing ascension symptoms. This actually took place last night. There was also some other things that was taking place probably a couple of days before. Now, I do know what's going on behind the scenes with that as to why that's happening. And what I'll tell you is that there are certain changes that are being made, and the planet is in the process of restoring balance back to itself. And the balance is not only being restored on this planet, but the balance is also being restored across the entire cosmos. Okay? At one point in time, this planet was 65% malevolent. If you're looking at a scale of 100%, it was a 65% malevolent. Xylanthe was on its way here to cause damage to this planet. Now that there is a better balance on the planet, it's slowed down Xylanthia. Y'all like to call it Nibiru, but it's slowed it down. So you guys are going to start seeing a lot of flowers growing everywhere. You're going to start seeing all kinds of life coming back. You guys are going to start seeing a lot of positive things going on the planet. But the planet has jumped some hella timelines. Hella timelines. And I want to say, shouts out to the collective. Shouts out to the collective for doing the work. Continue to keep doing the work. Okay? We're going to keep it moving. All right.
Throwing a stick, we heard a bunch of coming across the street. I figured it was a bunch of locusts or bugs, I don't know, June bugs or something. They flew over our head probably 7, 8 feet. One of them hit the pole, and you could hear it on the ground. I thought it was one of those katydid things. But you tell me, why in the hell would this shit right here be flying around? Somebody please explain to me what the hell that is. And I found out as I was picking it up, if you squeeze
that on the end on each end.
Mm.
Then it's going to do it one time. Then I guess it shuts it off. So somebody, for the love of God, please tell me what that is. What the hell? Stop it.
Someone said, okay, guys, look, I do want to make you guys aware that that the governments around the world have been utilizing different things to run surveillance on the majority of the people here. They're trying to turn everything into a surveillance state. That's not going to happen, though, at least not anymore. But they were headed in that direction to turn everything into a surveillance state. Some things are going to play itself out, but it's not going to be as massive. People won't be massively affected by this. So there's going to be a lot of us that won't even experience this type of reality. Okay? But those particular instruments, and that's what I'll call them, instruments that they're utilizing, is simply to spy on you and listen to your conversations and hear what you have to say. So they've gotten out of hand with this technology.
We have 16 food recalls underway. As of today, December 13th, 2024, there's details in the caption, including links. I don't have the time to get into too many details in this video. Please look at the caption. There are over 2 million pounds of ham and pepperoni under recall for listeria. There's an international recall of made good granola bars due to the potential presence of metal. Hundreds of thousands of pounds of prepared products are under recall due to cucumbers that could be contaminated with salmonella. They include gyro meal kits, sushi, vegetable trays, vegetable bowls, fruit bowls, cucumber slices, salads, and whole cucumbers. Vegetable medleys are also under recall for E. coli. Stuffed pasta shells are under recall for listeria. Enoki mushrooms are under recall for listeria. The ground cinnamon recall continues to expand, with over a dozen brands under recall for lead contamination. 5 tons of Blue Ridge beef puppy food is under recall for salmonella. 2.6 million Stanley cups are under recall for posing a potential burn hazard. And lettuce has been linked to a 12-state E. coli outbreak. The FDA has identified the supplier, but they have yet to name the company. I will keep you posted. Please share this with your friends and loved ones, and stay safe.
I guess the Biden administration is going all the way out. They're going all the way. I think these beings are like, look, we know it's hitting the fan, so we're going to try to take as many people as we can with them. They're really destroying the food supply inside the United States, and I've been known about this for a little while. I can tell you right now that they were actually taking meetings about this before Trump actually won the election, because they weren't sure, that they didn't think he was actually going to win. They were taking meetings about this, okay? They were taking meetings about this. And allegedly, Kamala Harris was in on it, along with allegedly President Barack Obama was in on it, and several others. They were all in on it to poison the United States food supply, allegedly. Again, this video is for entertainment purposes only. Nothing I say is the truth. Okay, we're going to go into the next one.
Wow, you see this?
Holy shit! What the hell is that?
What is happening? You guys see this?
Right there. And we got an X-class solar flare on its way in. Very, very serious, guys. Very, 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 very serious. There's a major solar flares that are coming in. And remember what I told you. This all took place last night. All of a sudden, boom, here comes the solar flares. Here's proof of what I said about the timeline jumping, because this is how you can tell by watching the Schumann resonance. When you see it like that, that means there was some major shifting. And there's some heavy, heavy, heavy timeline shifting that's going on right now. Now, I'm going to let you guys know, after a while, you're going to be on this planet and you're not even going to recognize it the way that you used to recognize it, because the planet is going up in its timelines and going up in its frequency. So I need you guys to hold on to your hats, because it's going to be a crazy ride For those of you that still haven't gone on your healing journey, it's going to be a little rough for you. So you're kind of going to be forced to deal with some things so you can adjust being on this type of timeline and on these types of dimensions. Okay. That's just what it is. Otherwise, you may find yourself going backwards. Okay. And that's another thing. There's a lot of people that's going backwards, I've been noticing. And I'm going to talk about that too later on. All right. We're going to go into the next video.
Oh my gosh, guys, seriously, just in time for the new year, a huge X-class flare, 14 M-class flares and 7 C-class flares. The sun went Richter last night. How many of you guys felt this? The crazy part is I slept like a baby, but I've been doing some intense internal work, cleaning and clearing and using these solar frequencies to my advantage. Seriously, please share this so everybody knows what's going on. But let me show you guys how to take advantage of these solar frequencies and use them to your advantage. The sun is frequency, is photon-based information. You are frequency. Your DNA emits and receives photon-based information from the sun. You can use this to radically level up your vibration. I'm going to start another group coaching course in about 2 weeks in January, and I'm going to focus on this, how to use these solar frequencies to your advantage. Seriously, the sun only goes into solar max once every 11 years, and this one is special. Let me help you take advantage of this. Oh my gosh, this is so freaking cool. Let me know how you're doing. Reach out with questions, and I'll
Wow, I was right. Now, my people, I want you to listen to me very carefully. A solar maximum only takes place once every 11 years. Someone said, them MFers attacked me with radiation from solar simulators for years while I drove a truck. I had frequent night sweats from the radiation. Other drivers witnessed it, and some of them got skin. All right. This is what you guys are going to do. You are going to want to get as much sun as possible so you can go ahead and get your activations for your gifts to come online for those who have been putting in the work. Your gifts are coming online, and they know that a lot of us are currently getting activated. While this is happening, you're going to want to get this radiation. You're going to want to get this energy that's coming out from that sun. You're going to want to get these sun codes coming in from the sun. Now is the time. Okay, now is the time more than ever for you to take advantage of it, because our time is nigh, meaning our time is near. Okay.
We talk about the drones, but are the drones a mechanical object in the sky, or are they something much different? Let's look at this. This was supposed to be a star, but it's much more than a star. There's life forms up there. There are intelligent beings up there in the sky. Let's get over here to this. And they can change their shape to any shape that they want. They can mimic airplanes, is what they can do. See the shapes they can take? This was, I zoomed up, it was in the sky. Pretty amazing. They are very high frequency.
These ladies and gentlemen are not the U.S. drones. That's not what these are. These are our ancestors traveling inside of their
Are these connected with the drones? I'd say that these right here are a big part of what people see in the sky. I really do. So I'm going to go, and with that being said, hello, wherever you are in any part of the world. Hello, from my heart to yours. Love you.
Okay, so let me get this straight. 2 astronauts, right? Suni Williams and Butch Wilmore went out for a space mission, an 8-day space mission, back in June. They get trapped out in space on accident. Wasn't planned. But they just posted a picture today wearing Christmas hats. Lock in, okay? Let me explain this to you. They went out for an 8-day mission back in June. 8 days back in June. Today, since they're still trapped out there, they sent us a picture to be like, hey, we're doing all right. Why do you have Christmas hats on? Where did you get them from? Where did you get the Christmas hats from? Listen, I'm not a conspiracy theory. I'd rather just have the answer. But 2 things don't add up to me. If the mission was only 8 days back in June, there's no reason for them to have Christmas hats in December. How would they have Christmas hats? The mission was supposed to be 8 days in June. You were supposed to be back before Christmas. There's no reason for you to have Christmas hats. Now also, if you're telling me they're sending them supplies, why would you send them Christmas hats? They're trapped out in space. They want to come home. And you're sending Christmas hats? Something ain't adding up. I don't know exactly what it is, but something not adding up. Something not adding up. I don't know what y'all doing. Something not making no sense.
Y'all.
When I saw that video, I couldn't help but just laugh my ass off when I saw that video. It's like he's not trying to come off a certain way, but it's like he's putting it out there. And I just laughed my ass off. When I saw them folks with the Christmas hats on, I was thinking the same exact thing. I said, who do they think they playing with? And see, let me explain something to you. Stuff like that, that's for them NPCs. That's for them Cabbage Patch Kids. You remember the beginning of the video when I showed the clip of the Cabbage Patch Kids? The ones that don't have no navigation inside there. That's for them. Well, they don't figure stuff like that out. Okay? So y'all really think that these fools went out on a space mission all the way back in June, was supposed to be out there for 8 days, and they're still out there in December, and they put a picture up of these people having Christmas hats on? Yo, the way they play in our faces is on a whole nother level. It's a whole nother level of playing. They playing in our faces. The math ain't mathing. So I feel that, brother. Let's get the likes up, guys. Let's get the likes up. And for the new viewers, let's go ahead and subscribe to the channel.
The planet is literally leveling up right in front of our eyes right now. It is going through some major changes. Have you guys felt that? The shifts, the energy. This planet is literally leveling up right in front of us, and we are going through this as well. Let me show you what the clouds in the sky have been looking like as of lately, y'all. I told you guys, this is Lisa Frank. This is our live. These are real clouds over Iceland, you guys. This is early in the morning in Iceland. Check this out. This is crazy. It's like God is breathing back life into this earth. You get what I'm saying? Just like Moana. Remember Moana? As soon as she put that green stone into her, she came back to life.
Oh, you truly are.
Now check this out, because this right here is in Alaska. What is going on, y'all? This is Alaska. Don't worry, I have different angles of this majestic phenomenon. Look at this. Like literally, it looks like God is just breathing back life right back into the earth. Look at that. Oh my goodness, y'all. It looks like crystals, right? Look at, so y'all gonna tell me that nature doesn't mirror itself? It doesn't look like this like in Arizona? Look at that. What those clouds mirror the cave in Arizona. Y'all see that? And what is this? What is this, y'all? It's illuminated. I don't know what that is, but it's something. I'm telling y'all, man, what a time to be alive. This right here is supposedly the sun. That sun is packing all that energy. Y'all see that? But I just wanted to show y'all some of the things that's happening on the planet. Check this one out over here. Our planet is leveling up right in here, right now. Let me know what you guys think about this video, y'all. Thank you for tuning to my frequency. Let's continue to get this shift. Peace out.
Y'all
Imagine how it's going to look as we continue to keep coasting through these timelines and get adjusted, how beautiful this planet is going to be. I am so excited for these times. I'm so grateful to be able to be here to experience this new earth, this new world that we're all going into. Now, what you're also seeing in the sky is a lot of plasma. So when the sun is reflecting off of plasma, you get these beautiful bright colors everywhere. But you guys are going to continue to see the beauty of the new earth. And I would say, welcome y'all for this ride. Are you ready?
Really need to watch out for provoking spirits. These spirits are very smart, but they're weak and they prey on strong people. These type of spirits will bring you into fury and let you win the battle, because winning the argument does not make them feel like they won. Getting you out your character and wasting your energy makes them feel like they won. Provoking spirits gets a high out of bringing people out of their character. They get a high out of making people act out of their emotions. You have to know how to identify one of these and control yourself when one of these are attacking you. Because y'all have to realize we are in spiritual warfare. Y'all got to stop looking at things physically all the time. Because if you don't realize that a provoking spirit inhabits people's body, you will be lost. A provoking spirit can inhabit anybody. It can be your friends, your family, your significant other, or it can be a quote-unquote op. A provoking spirit don't care about physical things. So they'll get you to a point to where you want to unalive them. And you know what? They still won. Because they got you to a point where you just threw your life away. Because all that spirit is going to do is jump in another person's body and do the same thing to them that they just did to you. You have to learn how to be emotionally intelligent in this world. You have to realize that some people just do things so you can act out of character and give your energy to them. They love negative energy. They absorb it every time you lash out at them. That's why when you be serious as hell, they be laughing. They'll look at you dead in your face and laugh at you because you did what they want you to do.
Whales are trying to tell us that there's something seriously weird going on in the ocean.
No one knows what's going on.
Before I get into this part right here about what's going on with these dolphins in the water and whatnot, what the young man was talking about is very real. And there is a lot of these so-called spirits that like to come out and provoke and take you out of your character and things like that. And it's not just happening online, it's happening in real life where you come across individuals who want to try to provoke you and take you out of your heart space. At some point, you just got to say, you know what? And this is where the healing comes into play. The healing comes into play when you just don't pay attention to stuff like that anymore. Everybody's got keyboard warriors, so you can't pay attention to stuff like that. But in real life, you will be challenged in real life. So I want you guys to think about how much have you healed? Are you healed enough to be able to even that stuff just roll off your back and keep it moving, or you're unfazed? Because that's what you want to get to. Because you guys got to understand, these spirits are jumping from body to body. But not only that, some of these spirits are people who are just not healed, who want to project all their hurt and pain onto everybody else. Okay, and you guys see that and recognize that for what that is. Once you understand what's going on, there's no point to you getting involved emotionally in it. It doesn't make any sense. Just leave that person alone. Set your boundaries and be out.
Fast approaching the Mahia coastline. This local watching from the top of the hill. We thought, this is odd, this isn't normal. Fascination quickly turning to concern. We're gonna get rich, The 45-odd false killer whales and one bottlenose dolphin first stranded before 2 p.m. yesterday at the rocky beach in Taylor's Bay.
They were screaming. It is probably the thing that's stopping me from sleeping, because you can hear this screaming in your ears. They were making more than a noise. They were really yelling out for help.
I told you!
What do y'all think they're trying to tell us?
With the tragic events that unfolded, there's got to be something in the haystack to look for that is a bit of positivity, and we hope to learn a lot more. Like why these creatures stranded in the first place.
When is something is scaring the crap out of those animals? And that's kind of big, especially for killer whales, because killer whales are the apex predators of the ocean. And they're extremely intelligent. So one thing that comes to mind is that back in 2019, I don't know if you guys remember an article, and they were talking about this on the news back in 2019, where they were going to have these nuclear implant reactors sitting on large boats or ships out in the ocean. And these particular reactors can actually light up a lot of, like, over 200,000 residences and things like that. And they were saying that they were doing this project, and they showed a picture of that boat that launched back in 2019, and that more of them were actually hitting the waters. And so I'm wondering if something is going on with those nuclear power plants that are sitting out there in the waters. That's what I'm thinking it might be.
Collapse, the dimensional collapse starting. Is it already starting?
It's already started.
With the sound and the color?
Okay. It's already started. Thank you for leading me here. What you're going to start hearing about in the very near future are something called rods. And they will be something that will be videotaped. And what you will see are large streaks just shooting through the air that are etheric, but are being able to be captured on tape. And what you're seeing is literally fourth and fifth dimensional craft moving through space, not having the slightest clue that they're flying right through us. Okay? And that's because you're beginning to see the implosion. It's great stuff.
And ghosts?
Yes, you will see more ghosts, more apparitions, because those that are stuck between third and fourth density will start being more and more visible as our frequency starts to raise and rise. A lot of them, unless they are healed, and I do not know how to do that, how to set them free from their self-imposed prisons, will be exiting, transitioning. Angels, folks, be very careful about somebody who tells you they're an angel. For example, I've asked about the archangels, and the Andromedan perspective of that is that the archangel Michael was literally a fleet of craft that were called Mikael. That was the name of the fleet, and they used to patrol the northern hemisphere of the planet when Orion was here in full force. Gabriel was the name of another fleet of craft, and so on and so forth. It has been changed and created into something that will save you and rescue you, when in fact that was not the original intent at all. Okay. What's going to happen in the next 10 years? I will share this with you. There are definitely some things underneath the Sphinx, but the bulk of the real stuff that will tell us about our ancient history is still underneath the pyramid. And there was a vault built 3 levels deep, and the pyramid was built over it. Okay, that's where the real juice is. That's where the real knowledge is. The Sphinx will have some things, but it's a distraction. You know, these guys are real good at what they do, at diverting attention from reality, from truth. They're excellent at it. If they put that much energy into telling the truth, God, we'd all be out of here. You know? Okay, hold on one sec. I don't have it somewhere. Okay, things that are going to happen in the next 10 years. Number one, we're going to truly find out who we are genetically. Information will be coming from all corners of the earth from contactees. There will be more and more contacts, and they will tell us about the 22 different races and more of our history. There will also be massive earth changes. They will start with a magnetic pole shift. which could happen anytime between now and the year 2001. Things have been sped up.
That pole shift is currently happening right now, so he was a little off on his timing. Okay. But I do want to point a couple of things out. One, when he was talking about the angels and the fleets, what he was talking about was there's a matrix that was created under the name of Archangel Michael. There was a matrix that was created. And this matrix that was created was designed to give people what you call the savior syndrome. There is no savior. You guys have heard me say this thousands and thousands and thousands of times. In this matrix, you have a lot of fallen angels that come forth and can respond, which is why it's good to know energy. If you're going to be out here speaking to things and you don't know who you're speaking to, it's always good to either go inward and deal with your aspects, deal with the versions of yourself, your multiversal self, and tap into the various different aspects of who you are and get communication that way. And some of you have angelic aspects. I, for one, definitely have angelic aspects. And I can tap into those aspects and learn more about myself because I am them. They are me. There were lifetimes when I lived where I was an angel, period. Okay? So I tap into myself to get the information. And I still have relationships with those angels to this day. To this day. That's why it's very easy for me to communicate with them. But I am aware about the matrix that he is talking about. Now, this is the reason why I said the true name was not Mikhail. That is incorrect information. That was wrong all the way across the board. That's not his name. It's actually Miguel. That is his true name. Okay? Now, when you look at it from an aspect perspective, those are his different aspects. Just like I have many different aspects, you too also have many different aspects. And those different aspects of you have different names of you, okay? But you also have nefarious ones out there that created certain things that throw people off and cause distortion. That's number one. Number two, another reason why he's saying this is because he did not want most of the people to know that the majority of the people that are here on this planet are actually angels. Okay, you may have heard the term earth angel. That is a very real thing. Some of you guys have aspects that are angels. And you have certain responsibilities that you have to do here on this planet as an angel. So that is a real thing. But they didn't want us to know that about ourselves. Okay, the Holy Spirit that they talk about in the Bible, when those who go through baptism and they receive the Holy Spirit, what you're not told is, for those who went down that road, is that your Holy Spirit is your angelic self. That is what awakens within you. That is the Holy Spirit. They're thinking that a Holy Spirit is coming from somewhere. That's not it. You always had that angelic aspect. You just activated that angelic aspect when you went through your baptism and you received, quote unquote, the Holy Spirit. It's just a form of activation or activating that particular aspect. I want you guys to understand the original book that was written wasn't called the Bible. The original book that was written was a cosmic book. The different prayers that were written are not the prayers that you guys see in the King James version of the Bible. None of that stuff is true. The Bible is a book consists of a lot of different allegories and stories. Now, do some of those actual people that were talked about in that book exist? Yes, some of them actually do exist. Some of them have reincarnated and some are still here. That is a very real thing. But you guys have to understand we're talking about different timelines when different events took place. Okay? You also have to understand that they were also pulling from different books, different teachings. And they were coming together and they were creating one big story that caused a lot of distortion. Okay? You remember when you guys read in the scripture somewhere where they gave the description of what Lucifer looked like, right? Well, a lot of you guys, for some reason, I wasn't buying it, but for some reason, a lot of you guys were buying it that Lucifer was a male and that he had all these adorned crystals and was this beautiful male angel. No, Lucifer is a goddess, a very beautiful goddess. And she is adorned. Very much so. You see the distortion? And then they talked about how Archangel Michael went to war against Lucifer. That's distortion. It was Archangel Michelle that went to war against Lucifer, the Supreme Archangel. The creator Supreme Archangel went to war against Lucy. But they didn't want to tell that story because they did not want to give that type of power and credence to a woman. They wanted to suppress that. Now, who was involved in suppressing that? A lot of your Alpha Draconians. They were the ones who was promoting the patriarchy. Heavy. The leader of the Alpha Draconians is a queen. Alpha Draconian. And they were trying to knock her out her position for the longest. But that's who really runs the show with them. Okay? And you had a lot of them that went rogue that had a problem with it. Brought that same mentality down here to the world. How many men have so many issues with women being in positions of power? Let's talk about that. And I want you to think about where that comes from. Some of you guys have Alpha Draconian aspects and don't even realize you have Alpha Draconian aspects. You need to take the time out to figure out where that's coming from and why you have so much hatred in your heart towards the woman, and where's that coming from? And also, did you suffer from mother wounds? Have you taken the time out to take responsibility and accountability for your mother wounds? And if you haven't, why? Where's the resistance coming from? It's just something for you guys to think about.
We're already starting to see the magnetic poles shift as we see birds migrate in the wrong direction at the wrong times of year. The birds move along the Earth's magnetic grid lines. And I wanted to share something with you. I'm very fascinated with the Native Americans. And I love to collect feathers when I find them on my journeys and my vision quests. And I was given this on 3/19 of 94, and I just want to share this with you. It's primarily about the Native Americans and the original intent behind them wearing the feather. In the ancient way, your native red American races understood the nature of the birds. The birds are very sensitive to magnetic fields and microwave energy, as you call it. They will migrate along the Earth energy grids, and their wings, which are made up primarily of feathers, were to be watched as they were very sensitive. To watch and follow the birds is to know which way the Earth's magnetic flows are moving. They would also, the Native American races, camp off these magnetic flows because the radiation would become harmful in time. The feathers are very sensitive to energy fields and magnetic fields. They are, in fact, an antenna. The feather would attract telepathic communication with all the tribe. As the chief would think or quietly discuss plans, the rest of the tribe would in the ancient days receive the message with few or no words.
Holy cow, this is so mind-blowing that my head actually hurts.
Before we get into that, you notice how they're always referring to the Native American as if they had been here from the beginning when they weren't? You ever take notice of that? Now, I don't know if it's due to their own ignorance of them not knowing, which very well could be. You know, we're all trained
in Antarctica. NASA has just discovered what might be
to think certain things. We're all brainwashed. A lot of us are brainwashed, and a lot of them are brainwashed to think certain things. So who are the original copper people of the Americas that had the red toned skin? Who are they? The ones who were reclassified as black, which is slave terminology. They never give reverence to the Aboriginal. They never mention it. Ever. You never hear them say that word. You never hear them bring it up in conversation. You never hear them say one word about that. It's always the Native Americans. And y'all know damn well that they're not the original people of this land. It's always got to be somebody else but us. I want you to think about that.
Parallel universe where time flows backwards. Here's the wild part. They weren't even looking for this. They just had their NASA balloon out in Antarctica in the crystal clear air searching for cosmic particles. And then something impossible happened, literally impossible, that defies the laws of physics as we know them. So there are these high energy particles called tau neutrinos, and typically they come down from space. But what they discovered was that these things were actually coming up from Earth, like watching water flow uphill, something that, again, breaks the laws of physics as we know them. But scientists apparently are like, but maybe they aren't moving upwards. Maybe instead they're moving backwards through time. And apparently the simplest and most logical explanation for this is that it's a parallel universe that was born at the same time ours was during the Big Bang. But here's the kicker. In that universe, if you dropped your phone, it would unshatter and go back in your hand. If you spilled your coffee, it would flow backwards into the cup. Basically take everything we know about time and flip it and reverse it. Now, somewhere in this mirror universe, there could be beings looking at us saying, these guys are living life backwards. This is an absolutely insane discovery. I just hope it's not like the Upside Down and we've opened some parallel door.
First of all, and you know what? And it's funny being in this space. I just see things a lot differently than a lot of them see it. The things that they put out there, the most insane things they put out there is absolutely hilarious to me. And the more I see it, the more I realize that this whole, I've always known this thing is a farce, but I'm talking about the stuff that they talk about is a straight up and down farce. First of all, let me explain to you what this is. It wasn't a situation where NASA sent some damn balloon out. That's not what happened. These fools are trying to escape off the damn planet. So what happened was when they were traveling to that part of Antarctica, what they saw is what you call the in-between. They can't get past the in-between because they don't have the access nor the key codes to get over to the other side to explore the various different dome systems that exist beyond that area. So they think that they discovered a new realm. That ain't no damn realm. That's literally called the in-between. That's what happens whenever you go from one place to another when it comes to dimensions. You go through what we call the in-between. And then in between, everything looks like it's reversed or reverses itself in the in-between. They don't have the ability to get to the other side because they don't possess the key codes. That's the real story. So they put out bullshit stories out like this that have people on some, oh my God, this, that, and the third, blah, blah, blah. I'm fascinated. But see, this is what I'm talking about what it means to be tapped in. When you're tapped into your own knowledge and your own self, you understand that you were one of the people that actually helped create this planet. You would know damn well what the hell that is and what's going on and what they're talking about. I was here. I was one of the beings that helped create this planet. So I knew exactly what it was. Okay? They kill me with this. I just want to let y'all know. No, there's no realm out here. There's no upside. There's none of that's going on. Okay? They just tried to escape to get their asses over to someplace else and found out they couldn't. That's what it really is. And yes, you will have to stay here and you're going to pay the price for everything that you've done. You've tried so many times. You tried to go through the water. It didn't work. You tried to go through the firmament. That didn't work. Now you're trying to go through the Antarctica. You're trying to go through that way. That's not going to work. Nothing's going to work. You don't possess the key codes. You're not going anywhere. So sit back and enjoy the ride.
Everybody that keeps saying crystals are evil, it's time to wake y'all up today. First of all, if you're using an iPhone or any electronics in this world today, you're using a crystal. Crystals are used in every electronic of this new age. Quartz crystals, to be exact, they are used as an oscillator in almost every motherboard used for electronics. So if you're using phones today and you think crystals are evil, go ahead and throw it away because you're basically looking through a crystal ball. Crystals are the reason you can see me across the world. You're literally holding a magical device. Without crystals, your car would not work. So if you think crystals are evil, go ahead and sell your car. You don't need to be driving. Crystals are in clocks. They help keep time because of the frequency that they're on. So if you think crystals are evil, you should not be looking at time at all. That's evil. Crystals are in the human body. Crystals are in your brain, in your blood, in your teeth. So if you think crystals are evil, you evil. Even when you're not healthy, they tell you have kidney stones. What do you think those stones are? Crystals. So I guess your kidney's evil now. I know a lot of people that say crystals are evil are mostly Christians. So let's go to the Bible. In Exodus 28 verse 15 through 30, they explain something called the breastplate of God. This breastplate had 12 crystals on it: amethyst, diamond, sapphire, topaz. This breastplate was used to protect the Israelites, communicate with God, and it was a breastplate of judgment. In Revelation 21 verse 9 through 21, the New Jerusalem foundation will be made out of crystals.
Always trust everyone to be themselves, but trust in the fact that you can see them well. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, trust. It takes too much energy to not trust someone. You know what I mean? It takes too much energy. You always got to stay 2 steps ahead of them or whatever. Right. But trust them to be them.
Right. To be themselves.
Trust the snake to bite you. Right. Trust the lion to lie for you. Trust the thief to steal from you. Like, trust them to be them. Too. But know them when you see them. Right. You know what I mean?
So China is...
And that's part of the discernment. And I had to put that clip in there from DMX. I thought that was really dope. Long live the God. But he's right about that. Think about how much work you got to put in and how you got to stay 10 steps ahead of someone just to be on point with them, when you can just simply identify them as who they are and what they are, and you deal with them accordingly. Like you said, know them when you see them. Once you know them, when you see them, then you know exactly how to play how to play them. You know who to bring close to you and who not to bring close to you. This has a lot to do with discernment, okay? And a lot of us have to work on our discernment because a lot of us have a problem with discerning, and it has a lot to do with the fact that people are not operating from their heart space. Okay? Shouts out to DMX for that.
Currently broken 2 world records with their drone shows that they were doing. The most recent one being in Shenzhen, which featured 10,197 drones lighting up the sky in celebration of the National Day. Now, this world record event took place on September 26th at Shenzhen Bay Park, and it set a new Guinness World Record for the largest number of drones flying simultaneously and also the largest aerial images created by drones. Now, they titled this segment Sky City, which drones were depicting tons of things in, regards to the architecture of the city, the heritage of the city, and they were paying tribute to traditions of the city. Now this was a week-long event, and each night they were doing this drone show with over 10,000 drones that are acting in unison to create these images of things across the sky. Drone swarm technology is enabling the coordination of these thousands of drones from a single computer. Now, obviously, this has wide-ranging implications as far as beyond entertainment, like potential applications in surveillance, defense, and logistics. Obviously, this could be real spooky if that was used against, say, an aircraft carrier or something like that. Now, I'm sure that countermeasures for drone swarms have been developed over the years by tons of different host nations, and I'm sure that they're getting put onto ships and other large vehicles to prevent this type of thing from being able to affect them, but it is still kind of spooky.
It makes me wonder. It makes me wonder. It really makes me wonder. But the fact that they got this technology is no telling what they're going to do with this. And now you got this, and you also have Project Bluebeam, which is holographic technology. Okay, that is a real thing. It does exist. And I'm going to show you what a Project Bluebeam technology looks like. Look at this video. And this is definitely Bluebeam all day. That, ladies and gentlemen, was Project Bluebeam technology, holographic technology. That's exactly what that was, okay? It is imperative that you make sure that you discern. You must be able to discern what's happening. There are some of y'all that thought this video was actually real. When I downloaded, I said this video in no way, shape, or form that's a hologram, period. That's not AI, but that is a hologram. That is Bluebeam all day. Okay? All right, we're going to go into the next video.
Population of the moon is about 500 million. It has a breathable atmosphere. On the moon, there are cities, villages, lakes, rivers, the little grays living inside. That's where they've been doing their abductions from.
It's not a moon. It's a command center with probably 25 to 35 different civilizations in there, but they have personnel living here. Their families live here. The kids are getting educated. It's a big facility.
They don't want us to go back to the moon. They encountered somebody on the moon. The moon is not a celestial body. It's an artificial body. Whoever constructed the moon, they flew that sucker here. They parked here and they've been here ever since.
It's a ship, an object that is built and brought into the atmosphere of the Earth in order to have some effect.
We have evidence that there are bases on the moon. I have pictures that actually shows domes illuminated from the inside on the moon. It is hollow and has a lot of structures.
You can order a negative of any NASA frame from 8 or 9 different archives, because at that time in the 90s, they were still photographs. He got a different version of 4822. On one of the versions of 4822, you see this object that looks like a giant paperclip. Now that sucker is probably going to be 600 feet tall as the Space Needle in Seattle, Washington. And it absolutely is artificial. Again, it's reflecting the sunlight in the proper way.
We actually went inside the moon. Inside the moon are all these seats, kind of like a giant stadium. And in all of these seats are hundreds of thousands of interdimensional beings from all over the universe. Now, floating right in the center of this giant room in the moon was this platform. And standing on the floating platform was 2 beings. One very tall, she had a huge bulbous head, and she starts to talk.
I got to meet one of my childhood heroes, Neil Armstrong. I was fascinated when Neil disclosed that shortly after they touched down on the moon, he had telepathic contact with an ET named Lhasa from the planet Selene. Lhasa told Neil that they had a concealed base on the far side of the moon as part of their mandate to observe the activities on Earth. And she cautioned him not to mention this contact to Buzz Aldrin or Mission Control because they would think he was losing his mind.
I've been told that the moon is a machine filled with computers. It watches, observes, downloads, uploads information to someone somewhere else in the universe. It has been used as a monitoring and manipulation station by non-humans for millions of years. I have talked with people who have worked in government intel agencies. People who would be CIA, NSA, have said, it's absolutely right.
Algunos objetos extraños que han sido captados a...
Now, one of the things I want to share with y'all real quick, and you're going to see that later on in this video. Video is plain as day of 2 moons being in the sky. So I'm going to explain to you what's happening with the moon right now because of the change that we're going through. That is artificial structure. They have, I don't think they're doing it anymore, utilize this structure to harvest souls. So when you would die, you would go into the light. You know how they put those movies out, Poltergeist and all these other different movies out? Go into the light, go into the light. Yeah, go into the light. Yeah, you take your ass into that light if you want to when you pass. Your ass going to recycle your ass right back here again. You're going to go through that Quetzalcoatl, a reincarnation. You're going to bring your behind right back here again. That's false light. So what happens is if you're not told this and you don't know any better, you're going to go right through that false light and you're going to recycle. You're going to end up at the moon. You're going to sit there at the station until it's time for you to be reborn again. You'll literally be sitting there with a number waiting for you to be reborn again at the moon. Can't make this up. Okay, that is the way that these beings have been harvesting the energy of humans for thousands and probably millions of years. That's the way they've been doing it the entire time. Okay, so make sure you stay in the dark. Your ancestors will meet you. Follow your ancestors and go to where you need to go once you leave from here. Okay, make sure you follow your ancestors when you leave from here. But whatever you do, do not go into that light or you're going to be recycling your behind back here. That's number one. Number two. Currently, our real moon, which is Luna, who's been sitting behind the artificial structure. And the artificial structure can be seen, it can be seen actually on the planet. What you're looking at is a projection. Okay? And that's a whole nother thing they don't want us to know anything about. They want us to get caught up in looking at something outside of this firmament. The moon is inside the firmament, and so is the sun. Okay, there are several different moons and several different suns. And also, I also want to make you guys understand this as well. We don't have a full understanding about how big this actual dome system is. This is a large dome system that is very advanced. And there are other dome systems that we like to call worlds that can be viewed from this dome system. The problem is they've created this artificial technology called clouds. A lot of dome systems or planets do not have clouds. Some of them have rings, but they don't have clouds in the way that we know clouds to be. That is to keep things hidden from us so we don't actually see all the various different planetary bodies that actually exist. Now, because we are going up in higher dimensions, a lot of us are going to see other planets in our skies now. All that spraying and all that stuff they've been doing to try to stop us from seeing it, that's soon going to come to an end where we'll be able to see it. But I want you guys to understand that the moon is nothing more. It sits there. It is an artificial construct. They're correct about that. But it sits inside of the planet. Someone had leaked a photo. I don't know who this person was. It looked like they were in Antarctica, which is probably one of the reasons why they don't allow people to go but so far in Antarctica. Okay. And basically, there was an actual station that was there. And what they did was they leaked the footage of what looked like or appeared to be the damn moon. And then I found out that they were sending out a projection. So it makes you think that it's something outside the planet. It's not nothing that's outside the planet. It never was. That's a deception. But I also want you guys to understand that these particular things are operating on various different dimensions. And you do have the ability to see different dimensions going on and also different timelines going on at the same time. You could do that through this phone, through your phone. You could do this on the computer. You can see various different things going on right now. If you're operating on a 4-dimensional consciousness, you can see everything that's going on in the 3D as well as the 4D. If you're operating in a 5-dimensional state of consciousness, you're going to see what's going on in the 5D, the 4D, and the 3D, and you're going to see the various different timelines. And so forth and so on. The higher you go in consciousness, the more you're going to see. Okay? So I just want to say that to you. Now, they're not speaking English or speaking Spanish, but just look at this orb.
Gran altura, posicionados en la estratosfera terrestre, donde aparentemente realizan movimientos involuntarios y desprenden una especie de luminosidad, indetectable a simple vista. David de Savedrowski presenta. El suceso que se desarrolla en los cielos del día, posicionado a unos 3.000 metros de altura en la primera línea de la estratosfera terrestre, muestra a un objeto realizando rotaciones y desprendiendo alguna luminosidad, siendo detectado por el telescopio del organismo que se autodenomina como Grupo de Estudio de Anomalías Plasmoides en las imágenes. Somos UFO 5537. La mención de anomalías plasmoides hace referencia a objetos anómalos autónomos que han sido observados de manera constante en la atmósfera, inclusive por personal militar, donde las utilizan regularmente como guías de ángeles de radar. En las imágenes estamos presenciando de extraños objetos anómalos plasmoides que se posicionan regularmente en la estratosfera terrestre, siendo captados a gran altura en los cielos del estado de Florida, de los Estados Unidos. ¿Qué te parece? Somos UFO 5537. Te contamos sobre...
This one right here, I feel like there's something going on with that. I feel like that's something more man-made. I don't think that's something that is... I don't feel it with this particular one right here. I don't feel it. But that other one...
Sucesos ufológicos a nivel universal y en habla hispana. Síguenos para más contenido. Gracias por tu atención.
Atlanta, Georgia.
I'm so already. Nigga,
getting the combination of both with that video right there. I feel like some of those are man-made and some of those are real.
About a bitch, get your origin. They beefing, it's boring. If you got money, then get some more then. Yeah.
Google says their quantum chip, their new computer chip, has gained access to parallel universes. Yeah, you can replay that if you want, but you heard me right. Google says their new quantum chip, shown here, may not have only proven that the multiverse actually exists, but they may have gained access to those parallel universes. I hope this hasn't caused anything weird to happen on Earth in the past few weeks. Yeah, there's stories all over about how that quantum chip has proven the multiverse exists and parallel universes are something we can contact. According to Google, this new quantum chip is so powerful, it can do math equations 10 septillion times faster than the best computer on the planet. So that quantum chip, AI, is basically light years ahead of the best computer that man had made up till now. So let me get this straight. They say they proved the multiverse exists. They say they can contact parallel universes. And since then, thousands of drones have been just going around the Earth watching us. Probably just a coincidence, you know. Yeah. Okay, Booshkis, I just wanted to share this with you. Shabadoo!
Taking a close. All right, look. You mean to tell me that it took Google's computer on a chip to tell us that the multiverse exists when, hell, I was telling y'all that years ago about you being a walking, living, breathing multiverse and you not having that knowledge that this is who and what you are. You mean to tell me an artificial computer, all I'm hearing right now is metaverse. That's what I'm hearing. It's metaverse. And if you guys are not careful about trusting into these computer chips and things of that nature, you may find yourself trapped up in something like that. And you don't want to get yourself caught up in that. You don't need artificial intelligence to tell you what you already are. If you are an original, you should already know who and what you are. And you should know that you're a walking, living multiverse. It don't take a quantum computer to tell you that. And this is the type of stuff I'm talking about. It's like the more my consciousness expands, the more this looks stupider and stupider to me. It just looks very elementary to me when I see this type of stuff. It's like the more I see it, the more I expand, the more I see the nuance. It's a nuisance. It's a nuisance.
Closer look at a dramatic East Lubbock standoff where multiple shots were fired and one person was injured.
39-year-old Felix De La Rosa was wanted for a parole violation. That's why officers tracked him to the hotel. But when he fired shots, they called in the Lubbock County SWAT team. At one point, we saw and heard him fire at a bomb squad robot. Take a listen. It sprayed tear gas into De La Rosa's hotel room. Initially, De La Rosa tried to fight the robot, even throwing sheets and what looked like towels at it, but that didn't stop the robot from deploying gas. We watched as De La Rosa crawled out of that window and onto the ground where the robot pinned him until officers took him into custody.
That's a robot.
Y'all better not ever get caught slipping like that. Y'all better not ever get caught slipping like that. That was the craziest thing I ever seen in my life. I've never seen anything like that before. I'm thinking this has to be some acting going on. This can't be real. This cannot be real. Quint Zero said, ain't no damn way. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, wait, hold up. Is this what we're doing now? This is how we doing it? This is what we doing?
Of UAPs emerging from or submerging into our water, which could indicate a base or presence beneath the ocean's surface.
I don't know about a base, but as I mentioned, I had a different source entirely describe this pretty extraordinary footage that exists of orbs, of an orb coming out of the ocean and being met by another orb.
And seems like there's still.
If you don't know what an orb is, it's a light. So they just admitted to seeing lights coming from the ocean, flying around, intelligent lights. For so long, my wife and I, we've been teaching as well as friends, and we begin mocked, saying that marine spirits exist. There is a such thing as a marine kingdom, and given scripture to back it up. You could go look at my videos from years and years ago, my wife's videos. And here the government just casually admits that, yeah, we've been seeing orbs, intelligent orbs coming from the ocean. And I'm gathering from this as well as other reports that they've said. And some of you watched the whole thing, you know what I'm talking about. That reminds me of this in Job where it says, dead things are formed from under the waters. The RB says it like this: behold, the giants grown under the waters. And the Young's literal translation says the Rephaim are formed beneath the waters. The Hebrew word that's used here literally means spirit, go shade. So it interlocks spirits with giants. Here's a clue: spirits, demons, are the disembodied spirits of the Nephilim. This is why. But it talks about they're underneath the waters. That's tied with these orbs. This is why you also see, and I've been teaching this for years as well, and people have been making videos, and it's not true, but when Jesus was going to cast out demons, a storm pops up, he rebukes the storm. That storm was not from the Father, because Jesus would never rebuke something that the Father sent. That was a demonic power that sent that storm. Jesus rebuked it and it ceased. It would have been what they believed to be Poseidon of that day. And notice when Jesus went to the other side, cast the demons out, where did the demons go? Into the pigs. Or where did the pigs go? Into the water. You take a look in the Old Testament, the Philistines worshipped a false god by the name of Dagon. What was Dagon? A merman. Water spirit. You see, the Bible also talks about Leviathan, the twisted serpent of the sea. So yes, the Bible has a lot to say about these spirits underneath the water. And the government just casually admitted that they've seen them. So all these Christians and all these people saying that we're loony because we talk about this, no, it's Bible. And the government just came out and admitted it. To deny both of those just means you're in denial. For those of you that want to learn more about this, because I'm going to be posting a lot of videos, hit the follow button for more. And if you're on YouTube, hit subscribe with the bell icon to be notified when I upload, and my longer form videos. Check those out too. Now, for those of you that want to take your learning deeper of this subject, we're doing a 3-day.
Negro, no. All right, look. Let me choose my words carefully here. The Christians have their perspective, if you will, and that's fine. They have their perspective. But the Bible is, first of all, not a real source of truth, in my opinion, because of the distortion. And there are many things that we're told in that book that just simply are not true. Now, if your mind is programmed to think that it is, you will try to find truth to fit your narrative. I get it. But the marine spirits that they're talking about, well, the Atlantean kingdom is inside the ocean. And they showed you this in the Black Panther 2 when you saw Kukulkan or Namor. They put it out there about the kingdom under the sea. And the thing is that it would be crazy for us to think, and that's a whole nother world that we haven't really explored like that. It'd be crazy for us to think that there wouldn't be kingdoms and other different, I call it a whole different world under the ocean. There are so many places under the ocean, so many cities under the ocean that they choose to hide and not tell anything, tell us anything. What I do is I go under and I tap into my actual Atlantean aspect, and then I go under and I go straight into Atlantis. Okay? Atlantis is very much real. It does exist. Okay? The Atlanteans are interdimensional beings. They're interdimensional. So just be careful whenever they start trying to turn certain narratives into something good and bad. Because Source is really breaking that thing down to me about good and bad. And some things, you guys understand, it's not just some things. All things are just are. Let me explain to you what I mean by this. And Source really broke this down to me one day so I could really have an understanding about certain things. Did you guys know? Well, you would have to know this. And if you don't know this, then you need to expand your consciousness, but I'm going to share some things with you. There is no such thing as good and bad. It just is. Period. When we were taught the concept of good and bad, we were taught this concept. But did it ever occur to you, because Source is the creator of all things, and Source requires a balance. If Source is the creator of all things, that means what? That means Source would have had to also create the darkness. That also means that Source also would have had to create the malevolent. Source also created the neutral. Source also created the benevolent. Source created everything. It is all Source. So, when I was talking to Source yesterday, I asked her questions. So let me blow some things out the water for y'all real quick. I asked Source about Satan. And I said, is it true that Satan was like an angel, and then he was the most beloved angel, and then he went dark and decided to stay dark and just do all this other stuff? And Source says absolutely not. Satan was always created to be malevolent from the beginning. What does that mean? That means that he is Source created malevolent. Period. His role is to be malevolent. That is his role. The same thing with Lilith. She was created to be malevolent. The same thing with Lucy. She was created to be malevolent. When you start talking about Council of Nine, okay, these are 9 goddesses. When you start talking about Council of Nine, in order for Source to create the balance for period, the balance, it was 3 malevolent goddesses. It was 3 neutral goddesses and 3 benevolent goddesses called Council of Nine. That is the way Source created the balance. Period. Let me take it back further than that. Malevolency has always been in existence. This is not something that was newly created. That always has existed. Before time even existed, before there was a such thing as time, it always was there. It just is. Neutral is there. It just is. Benevolency is there. It just is. In other words, what I'm saying to you guys, it's no different if you go to Australia, and everybody knows that when you go to Australia, there are beings over there that are not for your best interest. There are very poisonous beings over there, and they're very large. And you will seriously get hurt in Australia if you're not very careful on how you travel out there. It just is. Do you think crocodiles are evil, or are just crocodiles and they're operating within their nature? Now, their nature is to eat you. Their nature is to be just that. So you respect a malevolent being, and you keep your distance from malevolent beings. You keep your distance from them. There are some people out there that can deal with the malevolent energy. They themselves may have something about themselves that attracts them to that energy. Hell, they may even be part of the balance of this world, depending on who they are. You have primordials that are malevolent, but they play a role in the balance. Source is never going to allow it to be 100% good and 100% bad. There's always going to be a duality. So that if there's ever a time when there's going to be a situation where things go too far to the left, Source is going to allow certain things to happen to balance itself back out, like that's what's happening right now. Things are happening like this right now because the planet had been malevolent energy for so long, and certain beings were creating the balance because they were not honoring universal law. So by them not honoring universal law and cosmic law and not going against others' free will, they put themselves in a situation to be judged. Be clear. Your judgment doesn't take place when you die or after you die. It takes place way before you die. Your judgment takes place before you die, not after you die. And that's another thing that they put in the Bible. Oh, when you die, no, fam, your judgment already took place long before you even got into that space. There is so much going on in the cosmos that we were not privy to because we were not tapping in. But I do want to say these things to you, that you got to be careful with these concepts of good and bad, and just understand that it just exists and they do what they're supposed to do. Source told me they created Satan to do what he does. They created Lucy to do what she does. They created Lilith to do what she does. When it was put to me in that perspective, I was like, damn. You know what I'm saying? Like when you seriously think about it, because for Source, it's about the experience. And every last one of you guys also have the Source spark within you. So Source is also experiencing through you and learning through each and every single last one of you. Source is learning through all of you, through all of us, and expanding even more. So we got to expand our consciousness now and come out of the good and bad. All right. Yeah, we don't want to hear what you're selling, bro.
Follow button for more. And if you're on YouTube, hit subscribe with the bell icon to be notified when I upload and my longer form videos. Check those out too. Now, for those of you that want to take your learning deeper of this.
Come on, bro. Just go on ahead and get on past the part. All right. Watch this sister right here. She's been trained to tap into her godlike abilities. Watch this. And this is happening to a lot of us.
Watch this video to the end. How many moons do we need?
Hold up. Y'all saw what that sister just did? If you guys go and look at my other videos that I upload in the video section of the channel. On the video section of the channel, guys, when I'm not going live, if you don't see me on the live side, I'm uploading videos on the video side of the channel. So you guys need to keep up to date. Because if you don't see me here in the live section, you're going to see new videos I'm uploading there. I do my lives on Instagram because I like the platform. I like its platform better. Okay. And so I will go and I will chop it up over there. And then I will come over here and I will upload the video. Okay. In the video section. So you're not missing a live. If it's posted in the video section, that means I did not go live here. I went live on Instagram. Okay. I'm going live here today. So it'll be in the live section of the video. But if you go and you look at those videos, there's a couple videos that I put out where I showed there was a brother who was also displaying his own powers. This brother is creating a school to help the originals tap back into their gifts. She is a part of his school. Okay. There are plenty of organizations that are very quiet about what they're doing, but they're taking the time out and they're actively healing on a consistent basis, which means that it opens up their heart space even more, which gives them the ability to tap into what? Their other aspects, and also tap into the gifts of those other aspects. That requires you to do a certain amount of healing to do that. Your heart space has to be open to get access to those gifts because Source placed those gifts in that space. They are being disciplined. But I want to let you know, X-Men and Avengers are very real. They do exist. It's a very real thing. I'm in the process of working on my school right now down here where I live at. So there's another school that's going to be coming up soon. But I want to let you guys know that this does exist. There are people out there that are super tapped in, and they're doing more than what this young lady right here is doing. Some of them are levitating in the air. That's really happening. Some of them is using their telekinesis on a whole nother level where they have the ability to move things from place to place. And I'll start posting more of those videos inside here so you can kind of see what they're doing. For those of them that are bold enough to put that stuff out there, I'll put the clips in here so you guys can see what's happening with us. Make sure you get the sun energy.
TikTok, this is for entertainment purposes only. This needs to stop, guys. How many moves do we need, guys? This is ridiculous and it's getting out of hand. Shh. Shut up. How are we gonna know which one is the real one? Come on. How many do we need, guys? Is it that dark outside that we need to put another moon here just so we can see? Shh. Shut up! Come on, Bill! This is
getting out of hand, guys. One was good enough. We lived our whole life with just one moon, guys. This is crazy. And I can't take this anymore. I want to move out of this whole planet. I'm done. Which moon did E.T. go over? Come on. There seems to be 2 moons showing up everywhere, guys. At this point, I'm starting to think the sky is a green screen. Shh. Shut up. What's going on out there? What's real, guys? The Matrix is getting out of hand, I'll tell you that much. Get ready, because I don't think we got much time left. Shh. Shut up. I'm playing with me, son. TikTok, this is for entertainment purposes only. I'm only showing that there's 2 moons that y'all been showing us. Guys, come on! How are we gonna know which one is real? Shh. Shut up! Remember? There was like 2 suns recently. Now there's 2 moons. 2 suns, 2 moons, 2 different words. Shh. Shut up! This is getting out of hand, guys. I'm telling you right now, don't you make no future plans. Stop playing with me, son. TikTok, this is for entertainment purposes only. I'm talking to myself when I say that. You guys can make future plans if you want. I'm telling you guys, shh. There's a lot to worry about. We don't know where to go or where to start. But I'll tell you one thing. If I go outside tonight and I see 2 moons, what the hell am I going to do about it?
Okay. I think I saw somebody mentioning, can you guys let me know how many likes I actually have? Because I've asked you guys to get the likes up, and I got too many people on this live for me not to have the likes up that I've been requesting. Let me know what the like count is, guys. She said, he gets on my nerves. Don't be hating on him. He ain't no high school bully. Don't be hating on him. 826 likes. Okay. It's True Stories. That's his page. True Stories. All right, guys, let's go ahead and try to get the likes back up. Get the likes up some more, please. I'd like to get up to at least 1,000 likes, if you don't mind. Now, this gentleman, what he's talking about people seeing 2 suns and people seeing 2 moons. I want you guys to understand, you're going to see more, you're going to start seeing more planetary bodies in the sky that's going to have you scratching your head. I put a video up, the last video I put up, I think it was last week, where they showed a video where Constance Juice was showing a video down in Florida where you can see the sun at the top and there was a whole nother body at the bottom, but it looked like it was kind of pushed back. And I'm like, what the hell is that? You know what I'm saying? So there I was told, source did let us know, we are going to start seeing more and more and more. Okay. A lot more than what we realize, because the veil is gone. We're vibrating at a higher frequency. We're going to see more, especially now with that big timeline shift we just did. We're going to see a whole lot more. So get ready. Get ready. You're going to see what it's like to be in the higher dimensions. Now watch this. A young lady sent me this video right here. I want you to listen carefully, because they're warring in the skies. You see the plasma lightning and stuff like that. They're actually having a full-fledged battle, and that is the Anunnaki fighting against something in those skies. When you see the lightning change colors like that, that's plasma. Those Anunnaki are bound against those Draconians and those Greys. Now, look here. More angels.
Those are the angels.
See? Even they know.
Dude, they're moving around. Yeah, that's fucking creepy, dog.
Sarah, get out here.
Descend out just like that.
Sarah, get out here. Sarah.
Okay, before I go into this, I'm gonna talk about what I'm talking about here. Before I go into it, I remember several years ago, I was in a dream, and it was me, Archangel Miguel, that you guys know as Archangel Michael, and a couple of other known angels that was descending down just like that. Okay, and I recall seeing myself at the top. I was literally at the top, like in a ship. The ship looks kind of transparent and it does blend in with the clouds, but I was at the top and I was on mission. We were on mission together. And I literally jumped out the ship and I started descending down. And when I started descending down, I literally ignited something and I caught on fire. It was a part of me and I caught on fire. And I was descending down. And as I was descending down, before I got to the location that I was supposed to get to, I was able to stop in midair and move just like they're moving. Okay? I don't share these types of things with people like that. I tend to keep stuff like that to myself, but it's a dream. Okay? A lot of things were happening with me like that at that time when I was starting to first find out about who I really was as an angelic. You know what I'm saying? And I don't hide that from y'all. And yes, I'd have one-on missions with Michael. And there are times where I'm sleeping and I still do certain missions. And I'm still doing certain things. That's a real thing that really does happen. And a lot of you guys that are on mission, you will see yourself in your aspect. You may not even look the same in terms of how you look in your skin, but you may be traveling and you may look like a different being. You may be on another planet somewhere. I can tap into any of my aspects at will. Okay? But in that particular case, I was descending down. So that's a real thing. Okay? Now, this clip of me talking, and I don't know if you guys heard about the woman that was set on fire in a New York City subway station. And basically, people were filming it, and they didn't do anything about it. I'm gonna let this video clip play, and then we'll come back to it. I'm just gonna come over here real quick. I know you guys ain't seen or heard from me in a couple of days. It's all good, but I want to address about the woman who was set on fire at the New York City subway train station. The woman that was set on fire, the reason why people didn't help her was because she was a whole Alpha Draconian, which is why you didn't hear her screaming. And I know a lot of you guys said, oh, the body was in shock, et cetera, et cetera. No, that's not it. That was a whole being that you guys witnessed that was set on fire. The guy that set her on fire was an Anunnaki. The police that was walking by and waving her off, and the people that had video footage, and the people that were watching and not doing anything, they were all angels witnessing this public lynching of an Alpha Draconian. So I thought I'd go ahead and tell y'all that. Now, I'm not going to show you clips of that video because that looked horrific. So I'm not going to show you clips of that video. But I thought I'd just let you guys know that's what that was. Stay tuned for my next video that I'm putting out called What Are You Looking At? Log on to isiswisdom.com for more. Peace. Now, to put it in a different context, I forgot to mention this. They couldn't act on her behalf because they were angels. And they were standing there witnessing and filming it, and that's got out. I want you guys to understand something. There are a lot of videos out there right now where the Anunnaki are lighting people's behinds up left and right. Okay, this is really happening. Okay, and I even mentioned, I said, so So folks is just out here just setting folks on fire. You know what I was told? So above, so below, and why not? The police didn't even do nothing to that guy that sat there and sat and watched her go on fire. His Anunnaki aspect was activated. This is how it's going down in this realm. You got that going on, where you got the higher selves that are warring, which you see that type of stuff going on. And then you also have it to where the Anunnaki that are actually the aspect that's moving their vessel to go and take out whomever they need to take out. Because you guys are going to see a whole bunch of stuff that's going to have you guys spazzing out. Like, what is going on? Why does it seem like this? And why does it seem like that? But I'm letting you know it's imperative that you guys begin to start understanding what you're looking at. So as horrific as that scene looked, one of the things that stood out to me was the fact that, and I kept getting this feeling, I was like, I don't think this woman human. Because if you guys saw the video, you literally see this, you stand there, this woman's on fire, right? And she's not saying a single word. Not a single word. Not a word. Nothing. Her whole all this up in here was straight on fire. If you look at her ankles were on fire. Everything was on fire. And there was you could just see her kind of moving around. And then the guy who set her on fire, he's gonna grab a blanket and call himself waving it, but he was waving the flames so the flames would spread through her body so she would die. And then the cop walks by and he looks at her, waves her off, tells the guy to step back, and he keeps on moving. That's because the cop himself was an angel. The people that were filming, they were also angels. And didn't I tell you what Anunnaki are? Anunnaki are angels. So they knew not to get involved. And not only that, they couldn't get involved. So when you see things happening like that, you got to understand what you're looking at. It looks a certain way if you're operating with a 3D mindset. It looks this way when really it's something totally, completely different. Okay? So there's that.
Wait, is this fair or foul?
I put a little bit of comedy and humor up there, but at the same time, why do we have to put these goggles on?
Is this real? Is it real? Is it real? No, it's
It's just us. Look, it's just a game. Look, it's just a shark on the screen. It's just a game.
Can someone explain to me why in Manchester we've had nothing?
Before we go into that, what were those goggles doing to that woman's brain to where when she took that thing off, she still didn't realize where the hell she was? That, ladies and gentlemen, is an interest into the metaverse. That woman really thought that where she was at and what she was experiencing was a very real thing. She thought it was very real. And when he pointed out to her and showed her, no, it's just a TV, clearly she saw something that scared the crap out of her with those goggles off. So it does something to the brain. And she pulled out her gun and shot it. That, ladies and gentlemen, is an introduction to the metaverse. You guys need to be very careful out here.
Nothing but fog for 4 days now. 4 days in a row. Normally, just behind these buildings, I can see for miles out of my window, but I haven't been able to see past these buildings here, barely seeing this main road, since the 23rd of December. It's now the 27th. And I know what fog is, and I've seen fog before, but I don't think ever in my life I have seen fog like this, like a blanket covering for 4 days in a row. And it's not even like it's disappeared and then come back. It's literally just been like this constantly since the 23rd of December. Is it just me, or is that not normal? I mean, if it wasn't for the lights there and the headlights, I probably wouldn't be able to see that road at all. Earlier on today, genuinely couldn't see a thing. I literally feel like I live in a Stephen King film. But yeah, it's pretty weird. Has anyone else ever seen this before? Has anyone else ever seen 4 days, even longer, of fog continuously? Get it in the comments. But yeah, I've never seen this before. What is going on?
A large. And then it's getting worse. I saw some other videos where people are saying that they're getting sick. So I'm going to tell you what they're doing. They're poisoning the people. Are you guys experiencing this in the U.S. by any chance? I see angels above your head. Oh, they're around. They're around. If you see them above me, I'm not surprised. They're always around. Yeah, on average, Joe, I spoke on that. Have any of you guys? Yeah, Granny had a gun. That was scary. Yeah, it was. Did any of you guys have that? Okay, someone's saying yes in Oklahoma. You been seeing the fog of celestial Hashira? You been seeing the fog up there? How many of you guys are seeing fog? Ooh, someone said fog every day. Fog every day in Oklahoma. It's foggy in Los Angeles. Ooh. Ooh. Has this fog? You know what? That very well could be, has something to do with the drone spraying. That very well could be the case because I put in another video in the video section where I did like the world events video. You should go check it out. And you'll see the planes actually spraying in the drones spraying, especially up in New Jersey. They was doing it heavy. Now, are you guys noticing? Okay, St. Louis, they said they've been in fog for 2 days. It's foggy over here in Augusta. Ooh. Oakland, California, too. I'm in Miami, been watching out in the sky. Come on, guys. Let's get the likes up. I'm almost at 1,000 likes. I'm at 955. Most of the U.S. is overcast. Why do they hide? What is it they don't want y'all to see? They don't want y'all to see something up there bad.
Working city operating deep underground as we go about our lives on the surface above. It's real, and it's right here in the United States.
Subtropolis. Decades ago, limestone was mined here for concrete and asphalt. What's left is space. A lot of space.
Okay, so what's down here right now? We have 6 million square feet of buildings leased to 55 companies. There's 1,700 employees that run around here and go to work every day.
It's a massive industrial park, all underground.
You ever worry like the world could come to an end upstairs and you guys would just be down here toiling away, right? I feel like Fort Knox.
Security is a big selling point. Subtropolis is basically disaster-proof. Another selling point? Subtropolis is always 65 degrees. Always. What better place, then, to put a room full of computer servers? There's a lot of cool stuff in Subtropolis, especially in a company called Underground Vaults and Storage.
What are you going to show us? We're going to show you Hollywood, right behind these doors.
Inside, aisle upon aisle of TV and movie treasures, sent here by the studios for safekeeping. From the National Archives to food distributor Harris Brothers, the occupants of Subtropolis praise the predictability of doing business in a place where the sun never shines nor sets.
Anyone else noticed since this fog arrived on...
Now, let me take it a step further. There are actual full-fledged they're just showing you, sir, that's surface stuff right there. That's surface stuff, even though it's underground, okay? But they have full-fledged, like, metropolises under the earth where a lot of people live. They have train subway stations and everything there, okay? And these places have always been there. This isn't something new that they just started building. No, these actual stations, the train stations, which is very advanced, all that technology and stuff. Let me explain something to y'all. They've been traveling from the United States to get to different parts of the world. Those systems and tunnels have been built. by the beings who lived there before them. This ain't nothing new. And they also use free energy to maintain themselves down there. It's nothing new under the sun. It's just new for us. Well, not for me, but for y'all. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's been going on. That ain't nothing new.
Christmas Day, you got a sore throat, you started to feel lethargic, you lost your appetite, you felt fluey, you couldn't do anything, didn't have any energy, sweat, couldn't sleep. There's nothing natural about it for me, people. They're doing this on purpose. Whatever's in that fog is making us sick. And I know it's hard for people to get their heads around that they'd actually do it to us, but again, go and research the Georgia Guidestones. Go and research what they want for humanity. Keep us in balance with nature at 500 million. So they've got a big task on their hands if they want this done by 2030. So think about it. Changes in the weather, things they're sticking in us, things they're putting in the food. And I'm past caring what the Karens think. The amount of people in the comment section who say, oh, it's just winter, it's always like that, we always have fog. So this is far from natural, this isn't water, this isn't normal fog. So let me know in the comment section if this fog has actually made you sick.
Don't buy anything in America.
You know what, I'm starting to get another hit about this, y'all. Remember when I put out there about the Anunnaki taking out a lot of the NPCs? I'm getting some hits. I'm going to check into that and go a little bit deeper, but I'm starting to get some hits. I think this is a lot deeper than what we initially think that this is.
Big purchases until April 2025. Why are you saying that, Cavell? Well, what goes up must come down. I'll say it again. What goes up must come down. And you are sitting on a sinking ship here in the United States. Houses will fall. Cars will fall. The economy will fall. And when the economy falls, you're going to have a super discount on your home, on your car, or any big purchase. So just wait. The writing's on the wall. I'm out.
You ain't going to be, and you're not going to be purchasing no US dollar either. I'm going to tell you that right now, because when that goes down, the US dollar ain't going to be worth a damn anyway. So I hope you guys are making your necessary preparations about what you're investing your money into. That's all I got to say on that.
Benefit from calling us black.
So why can't we use that same term?
No, you know why? Because legally, right? Legally, by law, the Negro Act of 1740, literally it says that blacks, Indians, African Americans, and Africans, those are all terms for slave chattel. If you identify as black, African American, African, or Indian, or Negro, you're property, and you are property of the United States Corporation. That's why when you are born, they give you a social security number. That is your barcode. And as soon as you sign that birth certificate, you are handing your child over to the state, which means that's why they can come and take your child if they don't like how you're treating your child. It's the same thing with a vehicle. When you register a vehicle, you are handing it over to the state. That's why they can come and put a boot on your head if you park in the wrong spot, because it's theirs. That's why they can lock you up and throw away the key, because you are theirs. So the only way to get out of that is to claim a nationality. Our last label, our last term that actually holds weight is Moors. In 1492, when they took our shit and we lost that war and we lost everything, we were identified as Moors. Look up the Peace and Friendship Treaty. That's all I'll say.
Now, one of the things I want to say to you guys is not all of us were Moors. That's number one. So I disagree with her on that. Now, that might have been the way that they were being identified, but I do not agree. I do not agree. The Treaty of Peace and Friendship was placed there with the Moors, between the Moors and the U.S. That is true. That was placed there. But there were other tribes that were also there as well. I'm not claiming that title of Moor. I'm telling you right now, but my nationality, because I was born in America, my nationality is American. Okay, American. And if you guys go back and you look at the original definition of the word American, they were identified as the actual copper-colored races that were here. Okay, American, the Aboriginal people. Okay, the original people. A lot of your originals are from here. Okay, a lot of your originals are from here. A lot of the originals or the primordials are here. When I go down to Mexico, not go down to Mexico. When I go down further south in Mexico from where I live at, when I go further south, there is a whole city there full of Aboriginal people, and they know that they're Aboriginals, and that's what they call themselves, Aboriginals. They know who they are. They speak fluent Spanish, but they look exactly like you and I. Exactly like you and I. They just speak Spanish language. Okay? So what is my nationality in terms of the country that I was born in? That's how I identify. So when they say, oh, you're black, do not identify by that slave marking. Get up out of my face with that. First of all, you ain't identifying me by no color. That's number one. And you damn sure ain't gonna give me no damn title that's connected to slavery. That's what you ain't gonna do. What you're gonna do is you identify me as an American. That gives you the ability to be sovereign. I did not say U.S. citizen. United States citizen makes you a part of the corporation. You can be an American citizen. And there's a difference between a U.S. citizen and an American citizen. Or you can be an American national or an American state national. You can identify by the state you were born in. Okay? You have state nationals and you have the national. You get your American national passport from Homeland Security because they're the only ones that sell that passport. And it literally says American national on the actual passport. They charge about 5 racks for it. Or there's a particular way you can fill out your passport and you can get your passport. The information on your passport will show you as an American national, because if you pull up the first page of your actual passport and you open up that first page, they tell you this passport is for use for citizens / national. Pull out your passport. You'll see it there. It's written. So that passport can go for U.S. nationals and American nationals, U.S. citizens. Okay? The passport looks the same. What matters is the information that comes up on the passport. That's why I teach my status correction course on how to properly fill that information out, among other things that you got to change within the system. Okay? Because you're not even really supposed to be a part of that system in terms of how you're being identified. All right? I do not identify myself as a Moor, and I'm not going to identify myself as a Moor. I identify myself, what she said about the nationality, she's correct. I identify myself as an American. Period.
I'm catching bodies through rap and murderous wordplay. When the beat be slapping, I'm snapping like broken vertebrae. She's classified with the greatest, that's what I heard her say. Time to clear the air like burning sage, they gon' learn today. I wear my beauty, my confidence like an overcoat. Holding my crown up like opera singers be holding notes. I see the remnants of shattered visions and broken hope. If niggas know they can't take the heat, then why they blow the smoke? Even my disposable flows, you know we're close to those. Now go somewhere and kick a boulder wearing open toes. When it comes to losses and failures, I'm over. Your whole reality's illusions, nigga. Truman Show. They hear the cry of the goddess, no more ignoring us. Bad bitches, spiritual witches, feminine warriors. Planting mad seeds so I could breed even more of us. Time don't stop, so why should I? Let's go. Activate my blessings while I'm listening to.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate you. And there are those, I want to explain something to y'all. You see, the thing about us is that we don't have access to a lot of information. And we're told certain things and we go with what we know, and that's all that. That's cool and all that. But I do a lot of studying outside of what I was taught by other people. I take it upon myself. I've been literally teaching law for 25 years. Okay, been teaching it for a very long time. Retired from it and decided to go a different route. But when it comes to me, though, you know what I'm saying, and my students, I've already helped them change that whole thing out a long time ago. Back when you was able to change certain things. Thank you guys so much for being a part of this live. I really appreciate y'all, and I hope you guys like the presentation of the video. Give me your feedback about what you think about this, because you guys suggested that I start doing more videos like this where I'm breaking certain things down. I'm curious to get your feedback on this and see how you guys feel. Okay, so give me some feedback. Ooh, excuse me. Give me some honest feedback. Let me know how you guys feel, and I'll take it into consideration. In the meantime, between time, peace.